Morning light.
Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. As we're here with the all-in review recap show. Nick, what's going on?
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? For those of you that were expecting us to be with
Fightful.
Fightful, unfortunately, we did run into a couple technical difficulties, and they had to go live ASAP, which is fine. It's understandable. We will be working with Fightful soon. Looking in the chat here, we've got Kristen McNutt, as always, Alex Rodriguez, Mobile Effin' Gods, Double O, Luca Troller, Leslie A. What is going on, Leslie? Molly Sheridan, Jeff Guevara, Haley Course, TNT Wrestling Podcast. Holy shit, we've got a lot of people in here. I hope you all are having fantastic days, and I hope you guys got the chance to watch All In, because it was a good time. No Packer Punk, says Australian AJ Styles, unfortunately. Kenny Omega says, pop your 40s and check your rollies. It's PW, it's All In time.
I mean, I thought maybe we can get Pac, Neville. I knew there would be no CM Punk. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't... what was best for this interview is to...
Interview?
That's the interview. What was best for this pay-per-view is to not expect, just enjoy.
Exactly.
What I liked about this pay-per-view, it didn't take itself seriously.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it didn't at the same time.
It did it, and I like it a lot. So let's go ahead and start breaking it down.
All right, so on the pre-show, which I know a good number of people that were out of the United States probably didn't get to see, because I had posted, pre-show time on WGN, and some people were like, oh, well, I'm in Canada, or I'm in the UK, I can't see it. So... if you didn't, pre-show started off where Kenny and the Bucks come out, or Cody and the Bucks, I mean, and Cody's just like, all right, I think we only have like 90 seconds before we go to commercial, so we got to make this quick. If you guys want pyro, we're going to give you some pyro. And so they call for the pyro, nothing happens. Then they call for it again, finally the pyro goes off, and it's just every random kind of pyro you can think of, just sparklers, pops, fire, and then finally they're like, all right, cut it, we got to go to commercial.
Yeah. I like that. I thought it was funny.
And so they come back, and we get the first match, which was Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky taking on the ROH Tag Team title champions, the Briscoes, in a non-title match. We had Frankie and Scorpio dressed as Rocky and Apollo Creed.
Yeah, that was cute.
Kind of played off of, I think it was last week's Extra Being the Elite episode, where they did like a Rocky 3 training spoof, I guess you can call it.
Any Rocky training montage video is fucking hilarious.
Well, they kind of
hold on. Is freaking hilarious. I'm watching my language now.
It was like they really the thing was like almost 20 minutes what they did. It's pretty sick. So match kicked off with a lot of all-in chants. Briscoes were the heels, and they double-teamed Kazarian early until the SCU took advantage. Scorpio Sky did the Creed foot shuffle while punching Mark Briscoe till Jay nailed him from behind. Fast-forwarding here in the match, eventually Scorpio Sky rolled through to get the hot tag and cleaned house. Hit a cool spot where he rolled through, and Mark and Jay tried to attack him. While still in the post-up roll position, Kazarian threw a belly-to-belly on Mark. The match really picked up some steam as Scorpio Sky belly-to-belly suplexed one of the Briscoes over the top rope, and after Kazarian hit a Hurricane Rana, Sky swantoned over the top rope onto the Briscoes for a huge pop. Looked amazing.
Yeah, it looked freaking sweet.
Finally, the Briscoes went for a Doomsday device, but Kazarian caught the leaping Mark for a power slam and the pin, and Scorpio Sky hit a big knee on Jay to prevent him from breaking up the pin. Match went about 15 minutes. Good opener.
Yeah, great opener. I thought it was great.
All right, so then I know some people, well, no, I'll talk about that because it's actually more when the actual main card started. So next up we have the over-budget Battle Royal. A lot of people in this match. We had, what's the Marco Stunt? I had never even heard of him before. Some little guy. You had Bully Ray in there. You had some luchadors in there. You had Jordan Grace, Brian Cage.
Woo! Go Jordan Grace! I love you!
So basically, what we think is like the final four comes down. It's like Bully Ray, Colt Cabana, Jordan Grace, and Brian Cage. At one point, Jordan Grace powerbombed Brian Cage.
And then eliminated him.
Well, so she posts up basically to Bully Ray, and she's like, chop me. And he was like going to give her like the biggest chop ever. And he just stopped for, I don't know exactly. I can't remember exactly how it happened. I'm trying to think
Probably
of
was
this.
like, no, I can't hit the boob. It's the boob. It's a girl.
I think Colt broke it up is what it was. I know with Billy Gunn and his son Austin Gunn, they did a lot of suck it stuff. They were kind of overdone.
Yeah.
Like I said, going there to the end, Brian Cage did get eliminated, and then Colt Cabana and Jordan Grace double teamed on Bully Ray. At one point, Jordan got put on the top rope. Bully Ray then was then hit from behind by Colt, where Colt scoop slammed him and set him up for the was up. Jordan would then jump off the top rope, as Devon would usually do for the was up, and they landed on Bubba. Bubba then finally got to his feet, eliminated Jordan, eliminated Colt, and we thought Bubba was the winner. But apparently the match was not over, as a masked luchador, El Luchador, jumped back in the ring and eliminated Bully Ray. He would then pull off the mask and unveil that it was actually Flip Gordon.
I thought it was cute. I thought it was cool.
Kind of like what we predicted, but I thought Flip would be in like the bear costume.
It would have been really funny if they had him in like a WWE wrestler costume. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could have gone 100 different ways for it to be like comical, but I really liked the way they went. I thought it was cute.
Now,
I think the Battle Royal was great.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Now there was a spot where I think her name was Alicia Tout interviewed Kenny Omega on the pre-show, and he was like, "Why are you standing like that?" And she like had her legs kind of spread, and she was like really stiffed backed. Her back was really stiff, and she was like, "Oh, well, aren't we taught to stand like this so we look taller on camera?" Total shot at the WWE.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
All right, so it was weird because
real quick, I do want to take a look at the chat. People are just saying LOL Flip Gordon. Carlton's kind of spoiling it a little bit. God, God, save it. Gotta save. Flip Gordon was Sin Cara all along. Alicia a tout. Yeah,
if you guys do want to text in as well as being in the chat, you can do so at 510-906-1341. 510-906-1341.
It always scares me when you say 510 because for some reason I'm like, oh, he's just going to say my phone number, isn't he?
I don't know your phone number. It's just Nick Armstrong in my phone.
Man, you don't even have a last name. You're Timmy.
Yeah, fine by me. All right. So it was weird because during the Battle Royal, they were like, the winner of this Battle Royal will face Jay Lethal for the ROH Championship at the top of the hour. So we thought, it made me think first match on the main card, but it wasn't. It actually was a ways in. Mm-hmm. First match on the main card was Matt Cross versus MJF.
I love MJF. And
this is a really good match. Kristen McNutt, $2 super chat donation. Is Y2J going to Impact Wrestling? Honestly,
who knows?
He could. He did set up a match for New Japan, though.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did, because he attacked Kenny.
No. He said, I'll see you on the cruise.
But I'm saying they could also parlay that to New Japan if they wanted to. Champion versus champion.
Nah, his next fight's got to defend that, but we'll get into that later. He's got to defend that belt.
So, Matt Cross versus MJF. Matt Cross sent MJF into the ropes, but MJF held on. Cross did a backflip and landed in the ring. MJF sent Cross to the floor and teased doing a dive, but yelled that he doesn't do flips to get over. I love it. Love it.
I do like that kind of stuff. So that kind of like edgy, like
it's kind of like
going
the Drew
against the
Gulak
grain.
thing.
Exactly.
So Matt Cross hit a drop kick and sent MJF to the floor. Cross hit a crazy-looking dive to the floor that gave him the momentum. He then posed up on the stage. MJF took a backdrop and worked over his wrist. MJF slowed down the pace and continued to work the arm. MJF regained control at one point with a double foot stomp on the arm. He then hit a package shoulder breaker for another near fall. They traded shots in the middle of the ring. MJF spit in Cross's eyes and flipped off the fans. MJF then hit a crazy-looking pile driver using the ropes for a near fall. Finish came when Matt Cross made a comeback, hit the shooting star press, and got the victory. Great. Very fun match to open up the main card.
Yeah, Matt Cross is very good, and so is MJF. Phenomenal. During the Fightful Wrestling Weekly, we had actually played an interview that Sean did with MJF. I really, really recommend you guys check that out. That interview was awesome. It was very fun. You could just go to this week's Weekly. You guys are going to love it, I promise.
Now, there was an issue with the Fight app at this point. There was people, including myself, where either they were able to get into the stream on the Fight app, but it was buffering a lot. And I even had people telling me they'd click play, and it just wouldn't load.
I do want to say, text from the 817 says, can we talk about the Dick Druids?
Oh, yes. We will.
We will.
But yeah, I don't know if any of you experienced that with the Fight app. Either it was just buffering a lot, or it was just people would click play and it wouldn't play for them. It's unfortunate. I eventually found other means to watch it, so I don't know how long it actually kept on going for. So next up, there was a interview backstage with Sean Mooney. He interviewed NWA World's Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis. Aldis said that Mooney is the greatest, and that's why he picked him to interview him. Aldis then promised that he would retain the championship later in the night. All right. What's up?
I don't like Sean Mooney.
Why? Because he's too old school for you?
I just don't, man. It's just
primetime Sean Mooney. Anyways.
Didn't he contact us one day?
I think his podcast people wanted...
Yeah, like his agents or whatever.
They were asking people to promote their podcast. I don't remember exactly what it was. They were asking a bunch of people to promote their podcast.
Oh, I think they were asking to promote their shoot interviews. Like, we could use them.
Something like that. I don't remember exactly. So going forward, we had Christopher Daniels versus Stephen Amell. Jerry Lynn was the referee for this match. And this match actually got, because of Stephen Amell, already, since the match happened, a lot of mainstream media from comicbook.com, Entertainment Weekly. I think there was another one I saw on Twitter too that posted an article about it, so that helped out a little.
Yes, it did.
A lot of people were kind of like, this match is not that good because, all it was Christopher Daniels trying to make this Stephen Amell guy look good and blah, blah, blah. I thought the match was fine you got to think about it. It's only the third match Stephen Amell's ever worked and the first singles match.
What's that? A celebrity with very little wrestling experience in his third match? What?
Right. But the thing, this was not only was he all in as far as he trained for this. He trained with Cody.
Yeah, he did.
To help Cody get ready for his match and make sure, he was better prepared than when he did the stuff in WWE. Because with WWE, yeah, he trained some, but I don't think it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also with him and Cody being on the set of Arrow together, that gave them more time to train together as well.
Oh, big time. I'm sure.
Chris McNutt, $2 Super Nation, Cody winning NWA title made me upset. Really?
Why?
We'll talk about that.
Adorable. I'm happy for that. I'm fucking over the moon for the guy.
So, going forward, Stephen Amell came out to Bullet Club music with one of his co-stars from Arrow. Daniels came out to the SCU theme. They showed John Mayer sitting at ringside. Daniels had an early advantage and took Amell to the mat and stepped over him. They traded chops in the middle of the ring. Amell took Daniels down and stepped over him, kind of the same way Daniels did to him. They fought on the floor. Amell sent Daniels into the barricade. Amell then would pull out a table. Crowd started chanting Arrow. Amell would then hit a Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Amell then hit a Van Terminator, basically the coast to coast, which actually pretty good.
It the Van Dominator?
Van Terminator.
I don't know. Rob Van Dam was weird.
But yeah, he hit it coast to coast. Looked pretty good. Basically just as well as Shane McMahon can do it, if not a little better.
It looked very good for a guy that's only had 3 matches.
Oh, for sure.
Looked great. Such a good spot.
So this got a near fall. Daniels then took advantage and went for the best moonsault ever, but only got a 2 count. They fought on the top turnbuckle, and Amell knocked Daniels down. Daniels ended up getting himself up, but kind of onto the table. And so Amell, from the top rope, hit a elbow drop from the top rope to the outside through a table. This is not the last time we saw that spot on the show, actually, though.
I liked it a lot. I thought it was cool.
So with that, where was I? With that,
you're gone.
Huh?
You cut out for me for a minute.
Oh, my bad.
No,
the crowd then started chanting "Broken Arrow." Lynn then would not let the match end like this, and he threw Stephen Amell back in the ring. Jerry Lynn and Daniels started arguing as far as why are you helping this guy. Lynn then took off his referee shirt, threw it at Daniels, shoved Daniels, and Amell went for the roll-up for a 2 count. Amell then flipped off Daniels to a huge pop from the crowd. Daniels then attempted the Angel's Wings, but Amell countered for a near fall. Daniels then got the advantage, hit the best moonsault ever, pinned him, and got the victory. So the wrestler went over the celebrity.
I got a feeling this is going to lead to more.
Good.
I wouldn't mind. I think the guy did fine.
I thought it was really good.
I had fun. I enjoyed it. It was a nice, shoot, this was pretty cool. I watched it. See, I didn't cuss there. I liked it. I thought it was cool, man. Continuing on here. Taking a look at the chat real quick. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go for it.
I love Dan's commentary all night long. He had me laughing. Commentary team was actually pretty decent tonight, Mike.
Wait,
Jerry
Dan?
should grow his hair back.
Who's Dan?
I don't know. Rob Van
I
Dam.
think they meant Don for Don Callis.
Rob Van Don. Dan Dito. Ow, my ankle.
Anyways.
Alejandro, yeah, everyone did. Everyone did.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people had problems with the fight, which we talked about already. But going forward, Don Callis would then leave commentary for the next match as Tennille Dashwood and Mandy Leone would join the commentary team for the 4-way women's match.
I really liked this match.
The match was good. It kind of got a little sloppy at the end, and the finish was kind of weird. But for the most part, it was a good match. Let's see. Britt Baker, or should I say Dr. Britt Baker, came out to old Adam Cole theme.
Is it Dr. Britt Baker or is it Britt Baker DDS?
No, it is Dr. Britt Baker DMD.
What is DMD?
I don't know. I'm not a medical professional.
Dental medical dementia.
I have no clue, but she came out. Her ring jacket was to look like a dentist coat, which is pretty cool, but it was all snazzied up.
It's pretty neat.
And like I said, it was cool because she came out to an old Adam Cole theme song.
Which one?
I don't remember exactly. It was just one that I'd heard in the past, and they were like, "Oh, look, a nod back to Adam Cole. I haven't heard this theme in a while."
That's pretty cool.
DMD, DA Medical Doctor. Thank you, Ty
no,
Madman.
it's Da Medical Doctor.
Oh, my bad.
It's Da Medical Doctor. It's for Jamaicans only.
So in this match, we had Britt Baker, of course. We had Chelsea Green, Madison Rayne, and Tessa Blanchard. Tessa Blanchard's dad was there, Tully Blanchard, sitting ringside. And early on, Tessa threw Madison Rayne to the barricade and then back into the ring. Baker and Green traded pinfalls. Blanchard then gave Baker a hanging DDT from the second turnbuckle. Tessa Blanchard then press slammed Madison Rayne from inside the ring. She basically threw her from inside the ring to the out on top of Baker and Green. Green then fought back, got in the ring, and hit a suicide dive on Britt Baker. Blanchard then hit a dive to the floor as well. Madison Rayne hit a huge crossbody from the top rope to the outside on top of all three women. Everybody got back in the ring, and Britt Baker took control, hitting the sling blade on everybody before going for the pin on Chelsea Green, but only got a 2 count. Tessa Blanchard then hit a standing delayed vertical suplex on Madison Rayne for a 2 count. Chelsea Green would then go on to do the woo into the broski boot. And then she would hit the Rough Rider for a near fall. Kind of saying, hey, if my boyfriend can't do this on TV, I'll do it on pay-per-view.
Kristen McNutt, $2. Green says, woo, you know it.
Heck yeah.
That's some good timing there, Kristen.
So, only got a 2 count. Madison Rayne would then hit a top rope cutter for a near fall. Chelsea Green would hit the unprettier on Madison Rayne, but Blanchard would hit a code breaker on her. Baker then hit a super kick on Blanchard, but instead of just going for Blanchard, she would think, oh, well, code breaker is maybe a more devastating move. I'll pin Chelsea, but only got a 2 count because she had to crawl over to Chelsea, roll Chelsea over, and then go for the pin. Madison Rayne would then hit a crucifix bomb for a near fall. Chelsea Green would hit a Canadian Destroyer on Blanchard for another near fall, which is weird. They wouldn't call it the Canadian Destroyer. They would either call it the Destroyer or the Rolling Destroyer.
Because I believe Canadian Destroyer, isn't that isn't the Canadian Destroyer, it belongs to what's his name? Frankie. No, not Frankie.
P.D. Williams?
P.D. I believe it belongs to him.
Because I know, it's just a move he's always done in Impact and whatnot.
I think the Canadian Destroyer is his move.
Interesting.
But the Destroyer is the move.
Right. So going forward, she had the Canadian Destroyer on Blanchard for a near fall. Blanchard would then hook up the Hammerlock DDT and get the victory after pinning Chelsea Green. I honestly thought, Chelsea Green looked really good in this match. She was probably the standout to me.
Oh, yeah. Great match. I thought the women's match was
really good.
Fun.
The end was weird, though, because she hit the Hammerlock DDT. She went for the pin 1-2, and Britt Baker and Madison Rayne jumped in, and it looked like they broke it up. But then the referee just goes, ring the bell. And the announcers were even taken aback because Britt Baker basically hit them after 1-2, and they're like, oh, they broke it. Wait, no, the referee called for the bell. They didn't get it in time.
I do want to say, I think Tessa Blanchard would make a very good foil to Charlotte if she came to WWE.
Oh, yeah, but she just signed like a 2-year deal with Impact.
Yeah, but still, that's what I think.
It's a really good match, really showed off what these women can do. And then, in a match, some may not agree with me on this, but I didn't really like. It was Cody Rhodes challenging Nick Aldis for the NWA Championship. So Brandy comes out first with her own music and whatnot, because they wanted to.
Was it Cody's theme or was it just?
No, it was her own theme.
Oh, nice! I didn't know she had a theme, to be honest.
Her own. Well, yeah, because she wrestles in Ring of Honor and the Women of Honor.
Ooh, you're right.
So she had her own theme and her own music, or her own entrance video and whatnot. And so
you're cutting out a little bit for me. Oh, you're back.
No, sorry, I was trying not to burp in the mic. Anyways.
Okay.
So she comes out and they're like, "Oh, it's the First Lady, Brandy Rhodes," and she stood there. And then Cody's music hits, and Cody doesn't come out for a second. And then the camera's backstage. They do like a UFC style walk up thing where Cody's got an entourage. His entourage is his father-in-law, Brandy's father, Glacier, Tommy Dreamer, and Diamond Dallas Page. So he walks down.
What a weird roll-up
But
squad.
Then, as they keep walking backstage, his dog Pharaoh joins them as well.
I like that a lot.
So they all walk down to the ring together. Nick Aldis comes out. Nick Aldis has Jeff Jarrett, Sean Daivari, Tim Storm, who was the guy that Nick Aldis beat for the NWA Championship, and then I think there was one other person that I'd never seen before with Aldis.
Tim Storm is fairly old.
Yeah. So they all come down to the ring. Earl Hebner is the referee. They make this seem like a very, very big, important match. Had a big fight feel at the beginning. Like when the match started, I was like, this could be something good. This could be really good.
Again, it's a Nick Aldis match. He's a very slow worker.
But not even that. That's not even
he's
what
like a.
Go for it. Go.
No, I was just gonna say that Aldis is a lot like Randy Orton. He's a very safe and typically the same. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jordan. What a weird frickin' squad. I'm sorry. Thanks for keeping me on control. Hey, every time I cuss, you guys should donate $1 to correct me.
I like Time Man says, I thought Earl was going to screw somebody. All right, so the match starts off, and Cody's just getting his ass beat. Like, he's just getting beat down. Rhodes did hit a suicide dive to the floor, but then Aldis hit Rhodes with a suplex on the floor. Aldis took over and worked Cody's lower back. They traded shots in the middle of the ring. They both attempted a crossbody and collided. Rhodes then hit a springboard cross dive to the floor, but was rocked with an elbow to the face, and Cody was basically knocked out over there by the timekeeper's table. And this is what took me out of this match. I was liking the match up to this point, and then once this happened, I just couldn't get back into it. So Cody's laying there, and Earl Hebner's like, checking on him and whatnot. And he gets back in the ring and he's telling Nick Aldis, I don't think he can go. I think he's legitimately knocked out. I think he's done. I don't think he can go. And Nick Aldis is like, we got to keep this going. And DDP runs out. A big yoga chant ensues from the crowd.
And really funny if he was like having Cody do yoga.
So DDP runs down. He checks on Cody. And he's checking on Cody. All of a sudden, I noticed that Cody's head's under the table. I'm like, well, you know what he's doing here. He's gigging. Yeah. So finally, Sean Daivari comes out and he pushes DDP. DDP does not have that. He's not taking this. So he goes and he gets in the ring and he basically hits a diamond cutter on Daivari. Daivari's out. DDP goes to check on Cody again, and Cody's head's still under the table. Like, Cody laying there with his head under the table. You know what he's trying to do. It's just like, come on. This is really... I just couldn't get back in the match after this. And finally, Cody... Earl Hebner kicks Daivari out, kicks DDP out, and Cody finally gets his head out from under the table, and he's bleeding. We knew that was going to happen. Like, why else was he hiding under the table for so long?
Exactly.
So Cody was all busted open, which makes sense because it's like an old school Ric Flair type of deal. The heel champion or whoever is beating down on the babyface, and then the babyface takes a big hit and gets busted open, and he's bleeding, he's all crimson, but he's not going to give up. It's very old school. So Rhodes was busted open from the elbow, like I said. They got in the ring, and Rhodes tried to figure four, but Aldis got to the ropes. Aldis gave Rhodes a running power slam to the floor. Rhodes then fought back and hit an Alabama slam for a near fall, where I think it was Ian Riccaboni goes, oh, and that's a nod to the first man he was ever tag team champions with. But he wouldn't say Hardcore Holly.
Yeah.
I hit the Alabama slam for a near fall. Aldis then hit a powerbomb for a 2 count and then applied the Texas Cloverleaf. Rhodes made it to the ropes, and Brandy told him, you don't have to keep doing this. You can stop. Because Cody was just getting beat. And Brandy's like, you don't have to keep going. You don't have to. You don't have to. And so from there, Aldis hit a pile driver, climbed to the top rope, and he was going to go for the elbow when Brandy runs in and asked Nick Aldis to stop. Like, he's beating Cody so much, she was just like, if she had a towel, she would have threw in the towel. Mm-hmm. And she's just like, please stop, please stop. And he wouldn't. He was up on the top rope. He was perched. He was ready to go. So she jumps on top of Cody as Nick Aldis jumps off the top rope. And he basically lands on top of both of them with the elbow going into Brandy's back. And so Brandy rolls out of the ring. Aldis then was like, oh crap, what happened? Like, he's kind of taken back, like he didn't realize what was going on. But Brandy jumped on Cody before he jumped off the top rope. So if we're taking the scripted aspect out of this, he would have saw her before he jumped. Anyways, this then made Cody fire up. He hit a beautiful disaster kick into the crossroads and pinned Nick Aldis to become the champion.
I thought he pinned him in a roll-up.
Oh, that's right. My notes are incorrect here. He hit the crossroads for a near fall and then hit a sunset flip for the pin.
There you go.
There we go. So at first it was weird because he gets the pin and Aldis kind of kicked out right after. And Cody's music or nothing, there's no ring announcer for like a good minute. And then finally Earl hands him the title and like, okay, he did win. It was just weird for a second there.
I did really like that 39 years ago. Today his father won that belt, and today he wins it. And I think that was great. I loved it.
So finally, I didn't even mention Justin Roberts, who was doing the ring announcing.
Let me tell you how gosh darn happy I am to hear Justin Roberts say Mysterio. It was great.
Yes.
I miss him. He's such a good ring announcer.
So Cody's whole entourage comes out to celebrate with him. Great moment. Like, I'm not going to take that. That was a great moment. And you can tell that meant a lot to Cody. I know a lot of people, because I think it was Sean tweeted out that Cody soaked in the moment, and it really meant a lot to him, more than anybody could ever really understand. And someone had the nerve to go, didn't he just book himself to win? It was like,
I'm sorry, Brandon. Don't get mad at me.
what happened?
Brandon said PG, Nick, damn.
So, I mean, some people were just like, oh, this means a lot to Cody. He picked himself as the winner. He could have, But, yeah. Going forward.
I liked it a lot.
And a crazy match. It was Hangman Page versus Joey Janela with Penelope Ford. Remember, with Penelope Ford.
Yes.
Because, like, with the Cody Brandy thing, yes, she got involved at the very end and only took the elbow, which wasn't the last time we saw Brandy. But Penelope Ford, she was a big part of this match. So early on, both men come down to the ring. Early on, Paige hits a perfect moonsault from the top rope to the floor, crashing on Joey Janela. Paige then gave Janela a suplex onto a chair that was upright in the ring. Paige then revealed, at ringside, a barrel from Cracker Barrel.
As you do.
Paige then sent Janela into the barrel. Janela fought back and ended up putting a chair. So he, got thrown into it and then Paige got thrown into the crowd. So Joey Janela grabbed a chair, set it up next to the barrel, ran along ringside, jumped on the chair, over on top of the barrel, jumped off the barrel, and hit a senton onto Adam Page in the crowd. Crowd just started going nuts. So Page then set up a table at ringside. Janela nailed a running Death Valley bomb into the corner for a near fall. Janela then used the barrel and the apron to prop up a ladder at ringside. He placed Paige on the ladder and climbed up to the top turnbuckle. Paige then recovered and got off of the ladder, would get over to the ring apron, grab Joey Janela in the burning hammer position. Basically, hit a burning hammer on top of that positioned ladder. Had to hurt.
Beautiful.
Looked sick, though. Paige then pulled a trash bag out from under the ring. We had no clue what was in it. Penelope Ford would then jump in and try to choke Hangman Page from behind. Paige tried to go after her, but she did a bunch of backflip. This is amazing. She did 2 or 3 backhand springs. He then went to clothesline her. She ducked that and hit him, Adam Page that is, with a stone cold stunner.
It was really cool.
That was pretty sick. She then followed that up with a crossbody to the floor. Joey Janela then got his wits about him and hit an elbow. So she hit the crossbody, put Adam Page on top of a table. Janela's all of a sudden up on the top rope, and he hits an elbow from the top rope through the floor, or through the table onto the floor. Great spot. Which led to another spot where Page is kind of knocked out from going through the table, and Joey Janela grabs him and puts him up on the stage up near the entranceway. And so he gets off, Page is knocked out up on the stage, and he's doing something with the, metal railings at ringside, not ringside, but along the entranceway. And it's is he going to take one of those metal railings and hit Page with it? It was weird. And then all of a sudden he starts pulling the skirt off of it. And he unveils 2 tables. And so your question is, well, are there just 2 random tables, And Ian Riccaboni with great insight goes, oh, we found those tables we used earlier when Cracker Barrel catered for us. Such a great announcer.
Clever man.
Very clever. So he sets up these 2 tables. If you've ever seen, I guess, they do this a lot with Ring of Honor. There's the regular stage and then stairs that leads to the flat part going towards the ring. So he's got the 2 tables set up right in front of the stairs. And he's got Penelope helping him set him up and everything. And he climbs up the stairs, walks up the stairs, and he goes to grab Hangman when Hangman super kicks him. So my question is, all right, how are they going to put someone through these tables? Because this second table was pretty far out there. And all of a sudden, Hangman kicks Joey Janela and picks him up for a powerbomb, throws him off of the stage. Joey Janela goes through the first table, cracks his head on the back of, on the side of the second table, which doesn't break or anything. And I just thought he was dead.
Oh, absolutely.
So as they do that, Janela, they go, finally get back into the ring. In the bag was a pair of boots that Hangman does unveil for some reason. I don't remember exactly why. I think they were the boots he used to kill Joey Ryan. Page then super kicked Penelope forward, who tried to get in the way again. Janela then hit a super kick of his own for a near fall. Janela then set up a ladder. He then put a table in the ring. Page and Janela fought on top of the ladder. And I guess it was kind of like, what's the white noise that Sheamus does, kind of? But Page set Janela up for that through the table. And yeah, pinned him, got the victory. Hangman Page is victorious.
Yeah, it was a cool match.
And then, what nobody expected after the match, a bunch of men, I want to say 8, came out dressed as penises.
Dressed as pee-pees. Big old phallic boy.
White peepees. And so you're like, what the heck is this? And I like Sean's tweet where he goes, I wonder what an executive from WGN America may have been thinking when he saw one of them backstage. Like, oh crap, are you putting that on our show?
This is like the complete opposite of Raven crucifying Sandman. Complete opposite.
Yeah. So the peepees come out, and you're like, uh-oh, what's going to happen here? And they line the stage, 4 on each side, and all of a sudden the man who we all thought that Hangman Page had killed was resurrected. And Joey Ryan comes out, and I think Don Callis has the best line of the night when he goes, this is legitimately a res erection.
That was funny. I laughed at that. I did an audible laugh.
So Joey Ryan comes down to the ring. Hangman Page, in great comedy as he can do, he's just completely shocked out of his mind. He's just like, oh my God, no, you're not alive. And so Joey Ryan comes in the ring, and Ryan was clearly looked like he was going to pull something out of his pants, which he did. It was a rose. Joey Ryan came out with the inflatable dicks, didn't come down to the ring. My bad. Ryan then flipped Page off, hit him with his super kick, and threw him out of the ring, where just like in Undertaker fashion, when sometimes Undertaker would tombstone a guy and the Druids would carry him off, the penises carried off Hangman.
As you do.
A very unexpected segment here. I assumed we would see Joey Ryan in some capacity since people were posting pictures of him backstage.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect him to come out with guys dressed as Beckers.
I'm fine with it.
So then next up, we have the ROH World Championship on the line, where Flip Gordon with Brandy Rhodes, dressed up in a military costume, kind of like Lacey Evans does sometimes, comes out, and they teased this week on Being the Elite that we may see the Black Machismo.
I freaking love.
And then all of a sudden, the Randy Savage music plays, and out comes, oh yeah, Black Machismo.
I love him.
But he didn't come alone. He came with the genius, the brother of the Macho Man Randy Savage, Lanny Poffo. So he comes down to the ring, and everyone's confused. They're like, oh my God, it's the Black Machismo. And Flip's got Brandy down there. And so it was funny. Before the match starts, they announce this is a world title match, this and that. And then you got the camera focused on the title. And the crowd starts to go crazy, and it pans over really fast. And you've got Lanny and Lethal doing the old slow kind of, do I want to shake your hands, mega power handshake. It was great.
It was cute.
So then Lethal gets in the middle of the ring. Flip gets in the middle of the ring. And they do the handshake, them two. They go to their corners. The match starts. So the match doesn't really go on for about a minute before Jay Lethal jumps out of the ring. And he grabs Brandy, and he thinks Brandy Rhodes is Elizabeth. And he's like, you gotta come over here. Stand right there. Like it was basically Macho versus Hogan when he thought that Elizabeth was on the side of Hulk Hogan and not for him. So Brandy tried to walk off, and he grabbed her again. He's like, hey, I told you to stay right there. It was great. And so he gets in the ring, and they start fighting for a minute or whatever. They go back and forth, and she yells, I'm not Liz!
Yeah. I thought it was funny.
And well, that was before that was after she had gotten into the ring, and Flip was already thrown out wherever, and Machismo did the deal like what Savage used to do when you throw Liz up on her shoulders, and that's when she yelled, "I'm not Liz," and she slapped Jay Lethal on the shoulder, and all of a sudden Jay Lethal's head kind of shakes, his eyes flap open, and he looks around like, "What happened? Where am I?" And he's no longer Black Machismo, he's Jay Lethal.
Got it. It was funny.
Taken out of his, I guess, trance. It was funny, and then the match got really good. So then it was basically Jay Lethal versus Flip Gordon, no more comedy. Gordon hit 2 suicide dives and a corkscrew dive at one point. They traded pinfall attempts in the middle of the ring. Flip Gordon went for a 450, but he missed it, landed on his feet, and Lethal hit the lethal combination for a near fall. Lethal then attempted the lethal injection, but Gordon rolled him up. Gordon then hit a Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Lanny Poffo then jumped on the apron and touched Lethal on the shoulder, which turned him back into Black Machismo. Lethal then hit 3 Hail to the King elbows for a near fall. Gordon then kicked out like Hulk Hogan would, and he started to Hulk up. Gordon then hit the big boot and a springboard sling blade. Gordon hit a Samoan drop, a standing shooting star press, and a twisting moonsault for a near fall. Flip Gordon then attempted a springboard, but Jay Lethal cut him off with a cutter. Lethal then hit the lethal injection to retain the ROH World title. I kind of expected that because I was like, we could get 2 title changes, but I don't think we would. Because that would have been, a little too predictable with, oh my God, Flip found a way to get booked. Oh my God, Flip is going to win the title. It was just a little, too predictable for Flip to have won that.
Yeah.
So Shamal Slater here says, great show, kind of slow start, but got good real quick. Looking over here at the chat, 631 says they should have had Doug Williams and Rob Terry walk out with Aldis. I like that. Come back to his TNA days. Let's see what else you guys are saying here in the text message line. 401 says Marty Scurll and Okada was amazing. Have to watch
very
that again.
good match.
Loved that match.
Yeah,
so after the title match, Bully Ray runs out. Bully Ray attacks both men, and Ian Riccaboni's on commentary, and he was like, I know this is a Ring of Honor matter, but can anybody just come down here? Bully Ray's out of control. He needs to stop, and da-da-da. And this plays off of, the Flip Gordon Bully Ray storyline in Ring of Honor, but also Flip Gordon eliminated Bully from the Battle Royal earlier. Mm-hmm. So with that,
Chris BTE plays off All In with these storylines. Yep.
Oh yeah, they have to. So Colt Cabana, the hometown boy, runs down, takes out Bully Ray, and saves the day. Crowd loved seeing Colt come back out, and they hit a triple shield style powerbomb on Bully Ray through the table. And then next, Kenny Omega versus Penta L0.
Hell of a match.
That was weird because Penta's music hits first, and he comes out, and he looks like he's not ready because he's got like a second mask he usually wears to the ring, and he's like trying to put it on as he's walking out, and he just goes, screw it, and he doesn't put it on. But what was weird about that is like 2 minutes before this, the All In Twitter account posted a picture of him wearing that mask. So for some reason, he had taken it off and couldn't get it back on in time.
Happens.
So crowd's going nuts from the start. Both men get great pops from the crowd. And early on, Kenny Omega caught Penta with a Hurricane Rana attempt and a suicide dive, but Penta nailed him with a sling blade. Penta, or Pentagon, however you want to say it, caught Omega with a flip dive to the floor. They fought at ringside before Pentagon caught Omega with a power slam on the floor. Omega attempted a moonsault, but Pentagon got his knees up. Omega fought back and hit a springboard crossbody to the floor. Omega then attempted the V-trigger, but Pentagon countered with a super kick. Omega hit a Snapdragon suplex and attempted the one-winged angel, but Pentagon countered it into a backstabber for a 2 count. Omega then attempted a superplex, but Pentagon countered in a double foot stomp for another near fall. Omega then hit the V-trigger, but Pentagon yelled Cerro, I'm going to say this wrong, Cerro Miedo? I don't know if I even said that right. Miedo?
That's the Puerto Rican in me, ladies and gentlemen. Half Puerto Rican, half white.
And Omega hit a powerbomb and a third V-trigger. Penta then fought back and hit the Pentagon driver for a very close near fall. They traded
like literally the guy's hand was.
Yeah, it's like not 3.9.
Yeah.
They then started exchanging chops on the ring apron before Pentagon nailed Omega with a sloppy-looking package pile driver on the apron. Because, somebody's got to get dumped on the apron at least once in this show.
Naturally.
I was surprised more people didn't get dumped on the apron.
That's the hardest part of the ring.
Oh, really, Michael Cole?
Do you know why it's the hardest?
Why?
I was gonna take Sean's tweet.
Why?
I don't know if you saw it.
Because they used some Blue Chew?
Yeah. Use code FIGHT.
I was surprised there was no Blue Chew references during All In.
I would have liked that a lot.
I mean, especially during they could have said Joey Ryan used Blue Chew to erect himself.
Can one of our Spanish-speaking friends in chat? Father Saga does. Maedo.
There you go.
Thank you, my Spanish speaker.
I sounded it out like a white man would.
As a true white mountain man would.
All right, so he took the pile driver on the ring apron. Omega then attempted the one-winged angel, and Pentagon countered with a snap arm drag. Pentagon then hit a second pile driver in the ring for a very close 2 count. Omega rocked Pentagon with a V-trigger and an inverted Hurricane Rana for another 2 count. Omega hit the V-trigger and the one-winged angel at the end to win the match. So after the match, as Kenny Omega is celebrating and Pentagon's laid out in the ring, the lights go out. And the announcers are like...
Punk returns!
And the announcers are like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. And you hear Don Callis goes, Sears Center, pay your electricity bill.
Yeah, I thought that was...
And they're like, can you still hear me? Can you hear us? Are we still on the air? Did we cut out? Is this a... And I think it was Ian Riccoboni goes, guys, I apologize. This is the first All In. There's going to be problems.
I like that a lot. Playing up like, it's just a freak accident.
And so the lights finally come back on, and Kenny's like, he shrugs his shoulders, goes, hey, what happened? Why'd the lights go out? And quote-unquote Pentagon is still laying in the ring. Camera pans over to Kenny as he's just like, okay, I won, whatever. The lights went out, who cares? And Pentagon gets back up. Pentagon, who we think is Pentagon, attacks Kenny Omega and hits him with a code breaker. We then know at this point it's Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
I like Father Sasuke, Penta Jericho.
Yeah.
So Jericho pulls off the mask after he hit him with 2, or is it only 1 code breaker?
1.
Is this 1?
Yeah.
Okay. So he hits it with the code breaker. He pulls off the mask. He throws the mask at Kenny and goes, see you on the cruise. Which is great. I loved it. Very unexpected. Most people did not think that Jericho would have been there.
Very cool spot.
And so it was weird because he walks over to the announce table and he knocks into it, and then Don Callis just falls on his ass. What?
Just ate it.
He just ate it. And so the other 2 announcers, Excalibur and Ian Riccoboni, are you okay? Hey, what happened? Also, he says it was 2 code breakers. Thought so.
Okay.
So I don't know how he fell over because Jericho barely tapped the table, if at all. And so I guess that's basically, that could have teased something for New Japan, but he said see you on the cruise, which they are doing the big 6-man tag team match on the cruise.
Yeah.
Now, here's the interesting thing. This show was done where?
Chicago.
And who showed up?
Chris Jericho.
Jericho flew in last minute to this show. Do you know why?
Fozzy.
Because Fozzy played in Kansas earlier in the day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they were at they played at Aftershock Festival.
That's gotta be hectic.
And then he's got to be in Wisconsin tomorrow.
Poor guy.
I think before the show was even over, he had posted a picture of him in some jet. So yeah, that's dedication right there. Go to a Fozzy concert, fly to All In Chicago, get the Pentagon makeup on, get the costume on, and be ready in time. Like, I don't know what time they went on stage with Fozzy. I assume he set it up for as early as he could have probably. Mm-hmm. But that's dedication right there for something that was cool and honestly, like, it wasn't needed, I guess you can say, but I still liked that they did it.
Oh, absolutely.
So with that, we then had Kazuchika Okada versus Marty Scurll. And the whole thing about this match is everyone kept telling Marty he's too small. You're a junior. You can't beat Okada. Okada's one of the greatest ever. And he was like, no, I can beat the heavyweights. Kristen McNutt with a $2 Super Chat donation said, I just realized that ROH New Japan versus promotions... versus promotioners?
Promoters, not WWE. Yeah, continuing on with the...
Thank you for the Super Chat donation.
That Okada match.
So, they both come out, and they started out with some mat wrestling. Scurll rocked Okada with 2 European uppercuts and nailed him with a super kick from the apron. Scurll rocked Okada with a suicide dive. Scurll worked over Okada's arm, and then Okada fought back and hit him with a flapjack. They fought around ringside, and Okada nailed Scurll with a DDT on the floor. Scurll then tried to hit Okada with some chops. Okada laughed him off and knocked down Scurll. Okada then caught Scurll with an uppercut of his own, but Scurll nailed him with a brainbuster. Scurll attempted a package pile driver, but Okada countered into a driver of his own for a near fall. Fought back on the top turnbuckle. Scurll wouldn't go down and got nailed with a superplex. They then
this match was super slow. The only spot that I really enjoyed was the 205 live spot.
So they traded pinfalls. Okada attempted the tombstone, but Scurll reversed into a DDT. Scurll snapped Okada's fingers, and Okada fought back and attempted the Rainmaker, but Scurll countered into a crossface chicken wing. Okada broke free, and Scurll reapplied the hold. Scurll then superkicked Okada, and the referee went down as Okada was knocked to the ref. Scurll grabbed the umbrella, opened it, and it said all in. Scurll hit him with it, and Scurll hit him with the Rainmaker for a near fall. Okada hit the Rainmaker, but couldn't make the cover. Scurll then spit and slapped in Okada's face. Okada then hit 2 Rainmakers for the victory. So in the end, everybody was right. The little man could not beat the heavyweight.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Good match, though. Really played off of, Marty Scurll didn't want to try any of his comedy stuff. He didn't want to try any of his cruiserweight style, little man, junior heavyweight stuff. He wanted to try and fight like a heavyweight, to take it to the heavyweight, and he just didn't have enough in the end. I liked the story they did with this match.
Cody just tweeted, let's not stop, let's keep going.
Heck yeah.
He just tweeted that. I like it.
So we then have the main event. The Young Bucks and Kota Ibushi taking on Rey Mysterio, Phoenix, and Bandito. Now, if this is the first time you guys have ever seen Bandito, I love Bandito. He's great.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
I think this is like the 3rd Bandito match I'd ever seen. And the other 2, the one last weekend at Triple Mania, and then I saw some other like 6-man he was in. So I hadn't seen much of Bandito before, but man. And I think Cody even said it. It was one of the Bucks. I think it was Nick Jackson said on the Jim Ross podcast, we were told to book Bandito because we needed another luchador, and we'd never even seen him work. We just said, okay, we'll take him. I'm like, damn. Mm-hmm. So Ray comes out dressed as Wolverine, and the Bucks double dropkick Bandito early. Phoenix came in on fire and caught Nick with a cutter for a near fall. Ibushi and Mysterio got tagged in, and the crowd just went bananas.
Oh, yeah.
Mysterio caught Ibushi with a Hurricane Rana. Ibushi missed a dropkick and a standing moonsault. Phoenix then rocked Matt Jackson with a super kick. Bandito missed a standing shooting star press. Ibushi hit a standing moonsault into double knees. Every time I see that move, I'm like, that's going to break a rib one day.
Oh, absolutely. It will.
Them double knees off the moonsault. I mean, I know I said that on Twitter one time, and people were like, well, Alexa Bliss does it. Yeah, but she does like the handspring into it where it's not as impactful. He does the full moonsault and puts all of his weight into it.
Yeah.
So Nick then hit a flip dive to the floor, and Ibushi hit a moonsault to the other side. Mysterio then hit a huge moonsault on top of everybody. Phoenix hit a twisting plancha, taking out everybody on the outside. Bandito hit a twisting crossbody, wiping everybody out. Like, they'd get wiped out, and all of a sudden one guy would be on his feet, dive. And someone would get to their feet, dive. That was okay. They were over by the stage at this point. Matt Jackson hit a huge dive off the stage. Bandito then hit a triple Hurricane Rana, taking down all 3 men of the Golden Elite. Mysterio attempted the 619, but Matt countered it into a tombstone. They then set up for the Meltzer driver, but Phoenix walked across the ropes and took out Ibushi. Phoenix and Bandito then hit double suicide dives to the floor. Mysterio then hit a frog splash on Matt Jackson, where the crowd started chanting for Eddie Guerrero. Bucks then hit 3 super kicks in a row on Rey, Bandito, and Phoenix. The Bucks and Ibushi hit more bang for your buck, but in a new kind of way because they had to incorporate Ibushi, only got a near fall. Finish then came when the Bucks hit the Meltzer on Bandito for the victory. So you take the lesser known guy and you have him take the fall, which is explainable, it's understandable. And so the match ends, the Bucks music plays, Ian Riccaboni is going, the Young Bucks and Kota Ibushi win for Ian Riccaboni, Don Callis, and Excalibur, and then it goes off air. Like, that match, the pinfall was at West Coast time, 7:59 and a half. As soon as 8 o'clock hits, they're off the air. Pay-per-view's over. It was a good show. Some stuff where I was like, a little too much comedy. Other stuff where I was just like, that was pretty darn good. What did you think overall, Nick?
I thought the pay-per-view was, for the first one they did, for an independently funded pay-per-view, I thought it was great. I thought it was very enjoyable.
And as far as we know, which is a good thing, as far as we know, as just viewers of the show, nothing seemed to really go wrong.
Yeah, there was a few,
Sorry to cut you off. Go for it.
No, just say probably a few audio botches here and there. You know, the runoff times, people going a little long. Other than that, man, shit was fire.
It was like there may have been something that went wrong, and they know, from a backstage perspective, you'd know. But as just a viewer watching on TV, nothing really went wrong other than, like Nick said, a couple audio issues, which is, WWE has audio issues sometimes. I know when they started the pre-show, Cody was so hyped that he was just screaming into the mic, and he couldn't say a word without it just spiking the mic. Finally, freaking Matt Jackson took the mic from him.
Yeah.
But
no,
that's it. I was just gonna wrap it up
and say, well, ladies and gentlemen, that was our all-in recap for September 1st, 2018. Happy September. You guys made it. Congratulations. I hope you guys pull through another month. You can follow me on Twitter at PWU_Armstrong. You can follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited. Facebook at Facebook.com/ProWrestlingULTD. Right here on YouTube. Check out our friends at Fightful over at Fightful.com or at Fightful Online. Tim, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at TimmyBuddy. And if you want, Sean's still live on their YouTube channel if you want to check the end of his all-in review as well. So go over to the Fightful YouTube channel right now. We'll see you guys Monday after Raw.
Yeah, see you guys.